Hey YouTube, today we're going to be looking at a couple 357 revolvers, and before we get into any discussion, before we go any further, I'm going to let you know that neither one of these 357 magnums have anything in them, and we are clear to make this video. So what we have here, we have my matching set of Smith and Wesson 686s, and these are older ones. These are the ones that are referred to as the quote-unquote pre-locks. They don't have the lock on the cylinder. They have all the forged parts and what have you. And the reason I'm showing these two together today is I have a friend of mine that is a die-hard Smith and Wesson guy, and he does not like Colt revolvers. I don't understand why these people take sides and all that. He tells me how much better these Smith and Wesson revolvers are than the older Colts. And I'm here to show you something. I'm going to show you some importance here. So I did a video, I think last week or so, and I showed you this untouched 686 right here that's never had anything done to it. And I compared it to a Colt Python that was made around the same time. Showed you the trigger pull gauge on it and everything like that, and kind of the differences here and there about why the Colt costs a little bit more. And what I'm going to do today is I've got two of these. By accident, I've got this one here. This is a 686 also. This is a no dash one. This is one I've always wanted, a 4-inch one, and I looked and looked and looked for this one. I kind of panic bought it, and I paid quite a bit of money for it. And the other one here on top, I just recently acquired it. I couldn't believe that I got it for this price. It was offered to me very, very, very cheap, so I bought it too. So now I have two of them. They're identical. This is a dash one, and this is a no dash one. They're within a couple years of each other being made. They're identical in every respect. You can't tell the difference in them. So anyway, what we're going to do here is I'm going to show you. This one's never had anything done to it, and what the benefits of doing some action tuning to it and having a trigger job done onto it. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pick this one here up. This is the dash one. This is the latest one that I've gotten that I was forced to buy because it was so cheap. I'm going to show it to you. I'll show you both sides of it and everything. It's got all the factory wood grips on it and everything, and it's in marvelous condition. I think this one was made in like 1986 or something like that. And I'm going to show you how smooth the action works on it. This is a bone stock, out of the box Smith and Wesson revolver from the 1980s. This is what you could expect to get. So we're going to do a trigger pull gauge on single and double action. I mean, single action really doesn't matter, folks. You're not going to get a bad single action pull on these revolvers, but we're going to sit here and we're going to pull the trigger, and just looking like around 4 pounds. We'll do it again just to see how consistent it is, but it's probably going to be around 4 pounds every time we pull it. So we'll pull it, and yeah, it's going to be about 4.5 pounds for the pull. So where all the money is in a revolver is how smooth and what the double action pull is. So we're going to pull this thing, and we're going to get 11 pounds. We're going to do it again, see how consistent it is, and it's around 11 pounds, give or take. High 11s, low 12s is usually what these things can expect. So the thing about Smith and Wessons is they're always really smooth all the way through, but it is kind of a hefty trigger pull on this thing. And what people don't understand, when you're shooting a handgun and it's a heavy trigger pull and it's not consistent, you can move this gun around trying to make the effort to fire the gun, and that greatly affects the accuracy of it. And the harder the trigger pull is and the less smooth it is, it really affects the accuracy of it. Smith & Wesson usually does do a good job of having them pretty smooth all the way across. This one's a little gritty, but they're usually pretty smooth going all the way across. Now we're going to take this other one here. This is a no-dash one. This one's a little bit older. I can't remember exactly what year it is, but they came out in 1980, so it was sometime after that. And this is the first edition Smith & Wesson 686, and this one has had action work done on it. It's not even close to compare it. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a single action pull to this one, and we're going to see what we get. Like I said, I don't put too much importance in single action, but it is 2 pounds. It is substantially less. It's about a 2 pound less pull than the out of the box one. So we'll do that one more time and pull it, and that came up 3.0 right that time. Usually it's in the 2 pound range, what you can expect. Now, all the money's going to be in this double action pull, folks. And we're going to do a double action pull here and see what we can get on this one that's been action tuned here. So we're going to pull it, and we're going to get 6 pounds. We're going to do it one more time, and whoops. We're going to do double action here when we do this. We're going to pull it, and 7 pounds. Let's do it again. And whoops, we got to reset it before we do it, and 7.1. So you're going to get between 6 and 7 pounds on the one that's tuned. Now, folks, I don't know if you paid attention, but that's about half of what the one here on top was. And a gunsmith can take this in a day and work how smooth this thing works, smooth this action out, polish all the internals, change the springs, and tune it, and it will work this smooth, and it will work like a Colt does out of the box. And the Smith and Wesson people hate to hear that, but you have to take these things and put a little bit of work into them to make them perform like a Colt will out of the box. Now, the advantage to a Smith and Wesson is you can take a Smith and Wesson apart fairly easy if you're somewhat, efficient with tools and you have a little bit of knowledge about how things work and all that. Smith and Wessons are very easy to work on. Now, a Colt, like for instance, the Python that I compared this to, you probably shouldn't try and take that apart. It's very complicated. Stuff stacked on top of each other on the inside, and it's like a Swiss watch. And if you lose something or you break something, it's not as easy to replace. These parts you can still get because they still make a 686, and they're very easy to find, very easy to work on, and stuff like that. But the thing that makes this the best is when you're holding this gun here. If you watch this trigger, it's just smooth all the way through, and it's been lightened up to about 7 pounds. And that really affects the accuracy of a handgun, is how smooth the trigger is, and you need to get a little bit lighter. Now, the 2 pounds on the single action, that's a little light for my liking, but that's how he did it, and I haven't really had a problem with it. I like to shoot double action anyway most of the time with revolvers. That's why it's a double action revolver. But yeah, this is pretty light when you pull the trigger on them. But 2 pounds is livable. But anyway, folks, I wanted to show you what the difference in a stock one that's never been touched and what you can do to them for a little bit of effort. So if you're a Smith & Wesson person and you're really stuck on the Smith & Wesson brand and the Smith & Wesson platform, that's what you're familiar with. It really doesn't take a lot of effort to get a box stock one here that's a little bit rough, a little bit heavier trigger to work a lot smoother, really be tuned, and turn into probably one of the best actions that you can possibly have. Not really that much effort, but you will have to do that to be Smith & Wesson. It will not come out of the box working this smooth. If you have any questions on what's been done to it exactly, I have a video on putting a spring kit in one of these, and I can answer anything. The gunsmith I use, what he all does, where he is, or anything like that. Feel free to reach out to me, and thank you very much for watching my video today, and you folks have a great day.